Welcome to Module 3 of ITEC 6380, Supporting Student Success. By the end of this module, you should be able to delve into UDL guidelines for online teaching and learning, examine 3 principles of online design with UDL, and describe changes in your thoughts of UDL and inclusion and takeaways after listening to the podcast. This week's module has 2 big focuses. One is the role of questioning techniques, and the other one is about UDL. This week, our content aligns with Danielson's framework 3B, discussion and questioning techniques. And questioning techniques can be used to help develop critical thinking and deeper learning among our students. They can also help them to build their reasoning and reflection skills. And through student participation, we can also help our students to develop their own thinking and reasoning, thinking metacognitively about the thinking about their learning. The other big theme that comes out of our content for this week is universal design for learning. And while it's familiar from your past coursework, this week's content also builds on it. As you know, UDL is a great way to overcome instructional barriers in online learning settings. And it does so in 3 ways. First, through increasing engagement and the why of learning. Second, through representation and the what of learning. And third, the action and expression and the how of learning. Now, this week's content really brings into focus some other considerations as we look to employ UDL strategies to make our online instruction. This week's content really focuses on other UDL considerations. Among them are inclusivity. I have a friend who completed his dissertation, and his dissertation was all about what impact it has when students in foreign language classes see themselves or see people from their ethnic backgrounds in the text of a course. And what he found is that not only were learners more engaged, but also that they learned more content. A second consideration is about assessment and grading practices. For example, is it really equitable to use cumulative grading, or should other grading practices be employed? The third consideration refers to multiple representations of materials. This deals with questions about how are materials presented, and do students have the access to technology such as the software they need to access materials in different formats? The fourth one is multiple voices, and this is that we need to be looking for resources that allow students to hear from diverse voices about a topic in our teaching. And fourth is just to consider the pandemic-related shifts. As you'll hear in the podcast, there are certain things that really worked well in the pre-pandemic times that maybe aren't as effective now. We need to really consider carefully what things to consider continuing to use in our instruction from those times, and also maybe ways we can update those methods. This week you do have a discussion post. We'll be back on Flipgrid, and you're going to be sharing 2 or 3 of your takeaways for UDL and inclusion in online course design and design digital learning content. Remember, you do want to make sure that your post makes connections to your current or future role as online instructors. Make sure you cite your sources verbally, and also reply to at least 2 of your classmates. Well, please feel free to reach out if you have further questions about this week's content. And I hope this will be a great week of learning.